I don't do intros. How you guys doing today? I'm doing alright today. Um, Today I have probably my most unique build that I've made so far on this game. It's a newer build. It's not a remake of one of my older builds. If you guys don't know, I actually did lose all of my builds, almost 2,000 hours worth of gameplay. They all went down the drain. But since then, I've been hard at work trying to, if not get my old builds back, then remake new ones that are cool and interesting. And I like to make characters more than I like to make builds. I like to think of a aesthetic idea that I want to go for, and then I do that, and then I try to make it as good as possible. And in this case, this build and this video is kind of an amalgamation of a lot of different things I've tried over the years with Souls games in general. So there was a video back in Dark Souls 3 that I made where I made a White Walker build. If you guys don't know, if you guys never played Dark Souls 3, and you just Elden Ring Dark Souls 3 had Frostbite in it, and it wasn't very good in Dark Souls 3. I don't even remember if it even chunked you for damage. I don't really remember at all. I knew it had some kind of effect on your stamina or something like that. I don't really remember. There were ice spells in the game as well, but they were mostly added in Ariandel. But of course, there was also Sister Frida's Scythe as well, and that weapon was pretty sick. It just sucks that you know there weren't really any cool ice spells to go with it. Elden Ring does not have that problem. Elden Ring has a few different ice spells and all kinds of ways to proc Frostbite. And Frostbite is actually really good in Elden Ring. And of course the White Walkers are from Game of Thrones, and it was popular during that time when I made that video. So this character, you really can't see his skin, but his skin is pale blue. He kind of looks like a corpse that was left out in the snow. His name is the Frigid Butcher, or the Cold Butcher, whatever you want to call him. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of a butcher guy who uses cold infused weapons or bleed infused weapons to, like, butcher his victims and take them back to wherever the fuck he's going. He's using the frostbite to preserve the bodies of his victims as he takes them home and inevitably fucking gouges on them because this guy is a cannibal. This character I've made, he is a cannibal, and that is what he does. He is a cannibal butcher who uses frostbite to preserve his victims and take them back home and eat them. And this fashion, by the way, is fucking sick. I love this fashion. You guys let me know how you guys like the fashion. By the way, if you guys are curious about the stats, the weapons, the build, anything like that, stay tuned for the end of the video. That's where all my stats are being shown off. All my weapons are being shown off. Everything I use is going to be at the end of the video. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys will consider subscribing as well for more PvP content, build content, character content, that kind of shit. That's what I do. The other day I actually summoned Let Me Solo Her, and that was a fun experience for me. These weapons, by the way, the Omen Cleaver, the Omen Killer Cleavers, they're fucking sick. Might be a little bit underrated. I'm going to talk about all the weapons. So the first weapon that I really wanted to use, that I've talked about a lot, is the Vulgar Militia Saw. I love that weapon. First of all, it's a halberd, so it's like just naturally good anyway. And then it has the good halberd moveset. There are two halberd movesets in the game, and that one has the good one. I think the Dragonkin halberd, I think it has the bad one, the ones that are pokies. You don't want the pokey one. You want the one that kind of slams downward and has a really good charging R1 and shit like that. I even managed to use a Flamberge on this build. Can you believe it or not? This guy, by the way, gets absolutely decimated by Zamora Ice Storm. I wish the Flamberge was good in this game. It's right here. I have it cold infused. It's all right. It's better this clip actually, where I absolutely melt somebody with it. But yeah, you can put all kinds of ashes in on it to make it better. But yeah. And this is a pretty good amount of arcane on this build, so it'll proc Frostbite quite a bit. Not as much bleed as I would want it to have, unfortunately. But yeah, which kind of makes me sad because the Flamberge is like, it's always been a pretty decent weapon, and then like, I don't know, it was always like kind of second fiddle to the Claymore because it had bleed on it. So, you know, it was alright because it had bleed on it in most games. In this game, I don't know. I feel like it gets outshined by a lot of other greatswords. Most people probably don't remember, but the fucking Death Poker is a greatsword. There were so many invasions just like this, by the way, where I was having to fucking deal with the damn Sacred Relic sword. And it felt awful. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. What I wanted to talk about were the 3 videos I've made before. One of them was a Dark Souls 3 video where I cosplayed the White Walker and I used every Frostbite in the game, and I used Frigids Scythe and stuff like that. The other 2 were Elden Ring videos, actually. There was one called Beastman Cleaver's one-shot build. Now, that build is way better than this one. Because it used a bunch of meta shit to like make its damage be absurd. I had like dual seppuku on my Beastman cleavers, and then I had the white mask. I had the Raptor's armor to make my jump attack still more. I had the Raptor's the claw talisman, I think it's called. Yeah, people were getting one-shotted in that video because of the crazy bleed and the crazy damage of the Beastman cleavers. I wanted to tone that down a bit, and I also wanted to incorporate more Frostbite than bleed. This build has still a lot of bleed in it. As you can see right here, the second choice that I use for these weapons are the Beastman cleavers, and I have one that is cold infused, and I have one that's blood infused. And in a lot of these clips, I'm using Bloody Slash on the weapon art, on the Ash of War, and I'm using Freezing Mist or Freezing Weapon, something like that, on the second one. Good damage, still, like really good damage still, but it's not going to be as much as the one video where I was one-shotting people with the Beastman cleavers. I did eventually switch the Bloody Slash Ash of War to Sword Dance, because unfortunately the one thing I don't like about these weapons is the fact that they are curved greatswords, so their moveset by default isn't that great compared to like a greatsword in general. Like I would say there's like only like 2 curved greatswords in the game that are like good, and ironically they both have inherent bleed on them. It is the Bloodhound, like I was saying, the Bloodhound Fang and Morgott's Curse Sword. I think that those are pretty good curved greatswords, but in general, like curved greatswords are kind of getting the shaft in the game because they have a good running, like a good running attack, not a run attack, a good jumping attack. They have a good jumping attack, but like nothing else. Everything else is like a little bit too slow. Their damage is okay, but it's not like on like the you know, even Radon swords. I mean, this guy has Radon swords and he's like smacking me with the damn weapon art, and I don't know. I wish the Beastman cleavers and Radon swords, I wish they were both just regular great swords, because then you would have like you know, just a better moveset in general. The Clayman's Harpoon is an interesting weapon. Now right here I have it cold infused, but I can almost guarantee you that if you took this build, right, and you put the same Ash of War on it, Ice Spear, and you infused it with magic, you would get a lot more damage out of it, and you would still proc a lot of Frostbite. just by the weapon art alone. Because this spear is insanely good. It's actually really, really strong. And you're gonna see, like, I already showed a clip of me, like, doing, like, what was it, like 900 damage to someone before, 700, something like that. I mean, look at that. It's 800 damage right there. And he got roll caught right after because it's a spear. This weapon is very good. I imagine that this butcher uses it as like a skewer, something like that. I'm not really sure what happened to that guy there. He like rolled my frostbite or something like that. I don't know. He got hit by it there. He did 900 damage. Yeah, the Claymore Harpoon, good spear. I have some other clips of me using the Iron Cleaver strictly because of the way it looks. And here we go, Iron Cleaver clip right up. These guys have a Moog spear and a Moonveil, and this was a tough invasion, but you know, we got through it. Just people who love to press L2, man. The Iron Cleaver actually really surprised me. I used it before on a bleed build, actually. It was an 80 arcane build where I blood infused this and I cosplayed Michael Myers. It was a couple months ago. You guys can still look it up if you guys want to. Because I thought the R2 kind of looked like a slasher movie kind of thing. I thought, you know, and Halloween was like, Halloween Ends was coming up, and I was like, you know, let me just do that. Big Halloween fan here. Look at that, man. The R2 on this Iron Cleaver is sick. It will catch people a lot of the time. I don't know why his Moonveil feels like it's doing no damage, but is it not upgraded? I don't know. I feel like most of the time when I get hit by Moonveil, it's doing like literally all my health all the time. And then he gets bled out there and dies because the Iron Cleaver is goated. This guy is, I'm not really sure where I was trying to hit him with, I did hit him with it actually. Look, it almost actually killed him. Yeah, just a little too spammy. I go right over his head here, isn't that unfortunate? Yeah, Moog Spear is gonna nihil me to death there, but you know, we got the kill. That's all that matters, right? So yeah, like this build, this cold butcher, the frigid butcher kind of idea and build came from just me wanting to use a lot of ice magic, but also wanting a good bleed build and a good frostbite build. And this weapon procs, or not weapon, this build procs frostbite and bleed a lot of the time. So, you know, it's good. It's just good, it's fun. And this is kind of how I make characters, man. I like to think of ideas for characters. I don't like to use a lot of the meta shit a lot of the time. If you like to use the meta shit, that's cool too. You know, I have a Moonveil on my Moonlight Knight, and that's one of my favorite builds. But I don't use the Moonveil because it's the Moonveil. I use it because it has the word moon in it, which is just, you know, I guess I'm the only psychopath that does that. Like, I'm over here using Ice Mist or Freezing Mist on this build, and I have Freezing Mist on my weapon because just because it has, like, you know, some kind of like frostbite inherentness on it. By the way, excuse me for being so bad in this clip right here. I like miss every single roll catch on this guy. And you're gonna see me chasing him around for quite a while. So I just wanna, you know, go ahead and excuse my bad playstyle here. Blasphemous Blade, by the way. I don't know why I didn't take no damage from that. He's wiggling, man. And yeah, I do get rid of Bloody Slash eventually. I don't remember if I have any clips of me using Sword Dance, but Sword Dance is such a good Ash of War, and it's like significantly better on this weapon than Bloody Slash was, because although Bloody Slash like had the damage and whatnot, if they got hit by it, did like upwards of up to 1,000 damage on Bloody Slash. The thing about Sword Dance is that it hits multiple times, so you're procking up that bleed quite a bit, and also it's really good at roll catching. Sword Dance is, whereas Bloody Slash is like it kind of has a weird angle to it. Like, it doesn't really hit where you want it to. And there you go. I hit him with it, but really just hit him with my blade. Didn't really hit him with the Ash of War. The Vulgar Saw Militia, I think, is amazing. It's one of like the core weapons that I built this whole build around, honestly, because I love the way it looks. I love Stormcaller on it. You can put all kinds of Ash of Wars on it, but Stormcaller is the one that I really like because people get like they get staggered in it quite a bit. It really when they get staggered in it, they get hit by the weapon a lot. It like really procs Frostbite quite a bit, and of course if they really just don't have any kind of poise whatsoever and they just marinate in it, they'll get bled as well. Ironically though, I think the strongest weapons on this build has to be the Omen Killer Cleavers. Those things are powerful. Mainly because they already have bleed on them, and then you infuse them with Frostbite. And it's just like, damn. And they have this really good running L1 where it just roll catches everyone. I mean, I'm pretty sure I showed all the clips of me using the Omen Killer cleavers already. I can't really remember what we have and have not seen. But those weapons, man, they might be the strongest on this build. And most of the weapons I'm actually using in this video are actually plus 24. They're not plus 25. They're actually mostly plus 24. I think the Vulgar Saw Militia is plus 25, and then I have one Beastman Cleaver up to plus 25. The rest are pretty much all plus 24. And this build's level 200. I have 70 Int and 70 Arcane. Most people don't know this, but Arcane, your Arcane stat, it determines how fast you build up Bleed and Frostbite. So that was like one really core element for me is to have a lot of Arcane, so that you can proc the Frostbite and the Bleed a lot more often. And also, Frostbite scales with Intelligence, or at least Cold Infusion does. It doesn't give you as much damage as like Magic does, or just any other magical Intelligence Infusion or whatever. But it does give you like a decent amount of damage for Frostbite. And Blood scales with Bleed, of course, and, you know, Arcane. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Frigid Butcher build, Frostbite and Bleed build. Here's everything that I'm using. Here's everything. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Fare thee well, everyone. I'll make more videos, I promise. Goodbye.